Well, a Victorian couple in desperate need of water for their parched farmland have made headlines for their creative attempt to bring awareness to farmers in crisis. When Melissa Kate Portingale and Stephen Black realised they had a one-of-a-kind Lion King Woolworths collectible Ooshie, they set about trying to exchange it for water. Melissa and Stephen join us now from their home in Katandra West. And I'm pleased to say they join us now. Good morning to you both. Melissa, just explain the ad you created and why you decided to go down this path.
I decided to go down this path because we were sort of really desperate for money to help the farm. So I put a post up on Facebook asking if anyone wanted to buy it and copped a lot of abuse from it. So I decided to ask about water instead, which seemed to be the more relevant issue at hand.
What do you mean? What was the nature of the abuse? What were people angry about?
The price that we'd set on it, we said that we were asking about $5,000 for it, and people were just disgusted. The abuse started, and it was just hate and suicidal threats, and yeah, just some really awful things were said. So
I see. So as a result of that, you decided to change tack, Stephen, and to say that you were actually wanting water in replacement for the Ooshie. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, if they didn't understand that where the money was going to, then we were basically telling them, well, we did say that it's for water and stuff on the farm, and they didn't really change. So we said, well, we'll trade it for water then, just water. And you know, people started saying, well, what do you want, a bottle of water or a truck of water? And then we started explaining, well, it's irrigation water because we've got a problem through the Murray-Darling Basin with the water system. So that's really more important to us than money at the moment. And I really couldn't understand why that item was worth so much money. But if everybody was so interested in that, maybe they'd be interested in what we needed and why, and the message might get out there. Didn't have any idea that it was going to be such a media frenzy, but it was about just getting the message out there and getting heard that water is such an issue. Yeah, it just sort of flowed like that.
Melissa, what sort of interest then have you had as a result of the ad?
I've had probably about 4,000 messages come through to my phone with offers of, say, 20 cents upwards of $25,000. But in reality, we don't know which ones are real anymore and which ones aren't. So we can't really decide on going down any path because what's legitimate and what's not.
So at this stage, you haven't got sort of a bona fide, genuine offer of either money or water. Is that where it's sitting at the moment?
Well, we have actually got a water offer, which was yesterday, and but other than that, it's hard to say. I mean, on the bidding part, the last three bids were bogus bids, and the message was that, did you think you were actually going to get this money? So they basically bogus bid so that it wouldn't happen. We just don't understand why in a normal bidding system that happens at clearing sales and sales everywhere, where you put an item up and the highest bidder wins, why it was such a big deal. But apparently it is. So yeah, we just changed the tack and said, well, maybe water then, give us water.
It's disheartening, isn't it, to think that people can actually be so cruel, especially in your hour of need. I mean, it's a very legitimate request that you're putting out there. It must leave you feeling pretty hollow, Melissa.
It does, yeah, especially when you're pushed to the limits as it is, and your mental state at the best of times is really, really stretched, and then you get the abuse on top of it. It's very difficult, especially when we're just trying to do what we can to survive. Yeah, it's really un-Australian to think that there are people out there that just sit behind a computer and allow this sort of behaviour to happen as an adult.
Give us a bit of an idea of just how desperate things are where you are. Obviously, so many farmers around the country have been feeling the effects of this drought. Paint a picture of the situation where you are.
Well, here it's a major issue. The dairy industry here used to be really strong, but it's hardly running at all here. There's that many gone. I must say, look, we have problems here, and I've got work to do to get through. But there's other areas that are worse than us. It's the whole Murray-Darling Basin that's the plan's not working. So when this happened, I thought that, well, if everyone's so interested in this little thing that is a nothing, and yet we've got this major problem that nobody's sort of interested in, and the news circles are saying it's not newsworthy, the Murray-Darling Basin issue. Well, I thought, well, if everyone's watching this thing, well, I'll tell you that this is more important. I don't know why that's important. I mean, I know collectors want them, but I couldn't understand it. So, yeah, I just thought, well, if this is the moment that I need to do something, well, I have to do it. I don't want to be standing here on national TV, but I do want the message to get out there because it's so important. There's so many people getting affected, so the governments need to do something. Not put on the back burner. It needs to happen. It's been going on too long. People need to be able to run their business and survive.
Yep, and Stephen, desperate times call for desperate measures, so no one should criticise you for that. Just quickly, because we're out of time, Melissa, whether people want the Ooshie or whether they just want to donate and give you a leg up here and get some more water to you, just quickly, what should they do? Anyone watching?
Well, we won't be selling the Ooshie, and we decided...
We're taking a stand against this online bullying.
Yep.
Because I'm really passionate about this. It's just not on. If we were on the edge like some of the farmers are that have taken their lives because it's got too much, this stuff may have pushed one of us over the edge. So
we're going to destroy it.
We're going to destroy it because it's just not worth it. You ask yourself, what is a life worth? Is it worth what money? We don't know. So is it worth this? It's not. So to the people that bullied us and they want to buy this thing because they want it, well, this is what I say to them. It won't cut you. It's done. You can't buy it. I'm going to destroy it. I said that to people, and then they messaged Melissa and they bullied her again and said that she was selfish for not selling it. Well, the world's got to stop this stuff because people get hurt and it goes further and further. So this will cause a media frenzy and they want to bully me. Well, more bullying, I suppose.
Well,
but
Stephen...
it's not going to happen.
And, you know, for what it's worth, my advice would be just switch off the social media. Just don't listen to it. We all know that the people who get behind these keyboards and make awful remarks are just not worth considering. So, good for you, power to you, and we wish you the very best of luck. Let's hope we get some water to you as soon as possible, and we greatly appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Bye.